2 here 3. So definitely our common ratio here is 5/3. So we have common ratio to be, in the first case, our common ratio is -3 or 5/3. Then the last here is the sum. So we'll calculate the sum, which is C, sum. So the sum now, for the first case, where our common ratio is equal to 5/3, our R is greater than 1. So we result into A R raised to power n minus 1 over R minus 1. Here, since the question asks us to find two possible values for our sum, given this geometric series. So the geometric series here, we have 3 terms in this series. And since we have 3 terms in this series, so S3 will now be equal to A. What is our A? Our A here, which is the first term, is -2 into common ratio. What is our common ratio for the first case? 5/3 raised to power n. What is our n? Our n is 3. So -1 over 3 minus 1. So here we have S3 to be equal to -2 into 3 raised to power 5 is 125 over 9 minus 1. And this one gives 2. 2 can cancel this 2. Then you have S3 to be equal to minus into 125 over 9 minus 1 over 1. So we look for the SCM here, 9. We have 125 minus 9. Remember that there is minus outside. So 125 minus 9 will definitely be 116. So that gives minus 116 over 9. So we have, for the first case, where your R is greater than 1, that is 5/3, we have minus 16 over 9. Now, when R is greater than 1, which is 5/3, we'd be able to derive the S3 for that, and that is minus 116 over 9. In the second case, where R is now equals to -3, here R is less than 1, so we result into A 1 minus R raised to power n over 1 minus R. Here we have 3 terms. Automatically S3 will now be equal to A. What is our A? Our A from here, from the question, is -2. Then 1 minus R. What is our R? Our R is -3 raised to power 3 over 1 minus -3. So S3 here now becomes -2 into 1 minus 3. -3 raised to power 3 is -27. And this one becomes 1 plus 3. And that is -2 will now be 1 plus 27 over 4. So here 2 can cancel this. Then we have minus 28 over 2. So minus 28 over 2 automatically will give us 14. So we have minus 14. So that means that when R is -3, we have this sum. When R is 5/3, we have this sum. So we calculate 2 values for our X, for our R. minus 3 or 5 over 3. So those are the answers for answer to the question 5. The next topic is quadratic equations. Quadratic equation. If the product of two real numbers is 0, then one of the numbers or both of them must be 0. In general, if A times B equals to 0, then A equals to 0 or B equals to 0. What am I trying to say? A times B is equal to 0. Then A is equal to 0 or B is equal to 0. That is the rule that guides that. Example 1. Solve the equation x minus 4 into x plus 9 equals to 0. Example 1. We have x minus 4, x plus 9 equal to 0. So here, all we just need to do is to assume that the first bracket is equal to 0 and the second one is also equal to 0. So we can write that as x minus 4 equal to 0 or x plus 9 equal to 0. So x now equals to 0 plus 4, then our x is equals to 4, or x will now be 0 minus 9. When this one comes to the other side, then it becomes 0 minus 9 is minus 9. So our x is equal to 4 or minus 9. Example 2. Solve. You have to solve this equation. And you know that quadratic equation is of the model ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So the example 2 case is of this model. So in this situation, since we are asked to solve for 2x squared plus 13x plus equal to 15. This is an abnormal quadratic equation because the constant is on the other side. We can restructure this to make it look like this by simply bringing 15 to the left hand side, and the equation now becomes 2x squared plus 13x minus 15 is equal to 0. And since we have this, the question asks us to solve. So definitely we must find two values for our x. And in doing so, all we just need to do is to multiply this by this. When we multiply this by this, we are going to have minus 30x squared. And since we now have minus 30x squared, we are going to look for two factors of 30 that will give us the one in the middle. What are the factors of 30? You have 15 and 2. You have 30 and 1. Then we have 10 and 3. So these are the factors of 13 that we have. Which one will give us this in the middle and will still give us a negative? 15 minus 2 will give us 13. Will give us 13 plus 13. And this is plus, this is minus. This also, 30 minus 1, 29. 30 plus 1, this one can never be. Why this one? Addition of this gives 13 also. But it has to be plus. So when we multiply this, we have plus 30. But when we multiply this, we have minus 30. Automatically, this has disqualified the minus because there must be a negative here. So this is the one that we are going to employ. And since we are to employ plus 15 and minus 2, and we are dealing with the variable x, automatically we just put x beside the two terms. So it becomes this. So what we do next is to anywhere we see our 13x, we replace it with this. So we have 2x squared plus 13x minus 15 is equal to 0. So this 13x will be substituted for plus 15x minus 2x. So we substitute this for this. So in rewriting the equation, we now have 2x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus 15 equal to 0. And when we now have this, we dissect this equation into two this way. So when you have that, you check for the first case, what is common? By mere looking at this, we can see that x is common to both. We factorize, we bring x out of this bracket. And when we do so, x, what will be, this one will be left with 2x. This one then will be left with 15. On the other side, when you see a negative, bring it out first. What is common here? Nothing is common here. But the only thing that is common, which is common to everything, is 1. So 1 is common to this, 1 is common to this. So we can bring 1 outside. Then we have 2x. Remember that there's a minus outside here, which when it opens the signs, it must give you what you're starting with. If you put a negative here, minus times minus gives plus, and it's not plus that we have here. So what should be here is plus 15. And when you are solving quadratic equation of this nature, the content of both brackets must be the same. That's to be sure that you are right. Then here you have what is common to these two is 2x plus 15 on this side. Then you have x minus 1, which is now equals to